Hello and welcome to the DFS underscore PhD show for today, the 25th of October. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Wasn't me last night. I hope it was some of you guys, but if you followed my advice yesterday, it probably also wasn't you. So I'm sorry about that. Just like with Stefan Diggs, I do feel bad when you guys don't win too. And I mean, I don't think he's trolling. I think that's true. And I think that it's honestly probably true for most of the players, right? And that's why sometimes they'll be like, man, I don't care about that. I'm rich or whatever. That's a deflection. They do, everybody wants, there's a eusocial part of all of us, even the most weird sports player who obviously is not gotten there by being very eusocial. They got there by working out really hard for themselves. Now, speaking of, I would like to put Haywood Highsmith back in the rafters right quick. So let me get the rafters on screen. And I did, however, lose the device I was going to use to make this a little bit higher production value. So now we're just going to give a little, I guess, do I know any good? I was going to put on Aaron Copland, but I didn't even know if that was under copyright. So anyway, you should look up, what is it? Some Western song of his sounds a lot like Jurassic Park. So imagine that's on. Bum, 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 bum. This is not anything copyrighted. Bum, 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 bum. This is a song I'm making up extemporaneously and a little off key. Thank you, Haywood Highsmith. You get your. This is the first Miami game of the year, so that's why we are feting Haywood Highsmith. We're hanging, just like yesterday was Jokic. We're putting him in the rafters today. We're putting Haywood Highsmith in the rafters for his wonderful performance in garbage time of game one that put me in the situation we are today, where we don't care that yesterday we lost $500, and it was a terrible, terrible day because it was a spike day. You guys know I had collected 32 tickets through the satellite strategy, 2 cashed. So that happens that happens way more often than the Haywood Highsmith thing. That's why you cannot do that all the time. You cannot count on that working. You just got to grind and make it work and do it with money you don't care about. Make sure you keep your 100,000 off the table and you're just playing around with like a little money so that when you lose $500, you're like, man, which I am. You should still feel that, man. It's also a problem if you don't feel that kind of upset. But anyway, yes, 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a problem. Now, that's what you should say to somebody before you say, welcome to the show, and also like, comment, and subscribe, etc. Let me say a little bit more about the satellite strategy. I'm going to make another big picture series about it, but I've gotten a couple of questions in the Discord and Twitter, I think even YouTube, about this. And what it means is when I show you these Madden sims and stuff, I don't know if I can zoom in anymore. I don't think I can because they're screenshots. Oh, yeah, I can like this. So what's important about this is not that I know Madden sims. I don't know Madden sims. I don't care. It's fun diversion during the day. And I kind of like paying the rake to DraftKings about it because I appreciate that they invented it during COVID for me to have something to look at. Like it was very nice for several months during COVID. So I kind of like paying them back for that. Some days maybe I'll pop it on if I'm about to win or something, see what's going on in the game, see if the scorekeeping's right. But the main reason I play these is the expected value is nuts. I like these little pitch and putt tournaments. They happen for the showdown of the second, third, and fourth rounds of pretty much all the big tournaments. They got 6 figures up top. I can do my little uniqueness thing about them. Plus, you can see it's not that I won these 2 things, right? It's that there were 10 people in this tournament that cost $1 and had a $20 payout. So my expected value was double because it was a $20 thing split 10 ways is $2 and I put in $1. That's expected value. So the pitch and putt was similar. This is 3 tickets that are up top. So $60 was up there among 14 people. So this is more than a double up. Whenever the pitch and putt, the $2 one is under 15, it's a must play for me. Whenever it's under 20, it's probably good because 50% is my long-term average. So that's what I'm looking at. Every day, like I've got a timer set now for about an hour. It'll go off. I'll check all the things. I'll impute the expected value. I'll pull the trigger because I'll have the lineups ready because I'm a freaking nerd. And every morning I build every single Madden Sims lineup for the entire day so that every 2 hours I can click, click, click and do this expected value thing. So that's the satellite strategy applied to Madden Sims. Obviously it works in other places. So during the year is better. Obviously it doesn't work for the the World Series showdowns of MLB, but during the year they run a zillion showdowns in the MLB or whatever. I mean, probably yeah, they do in basketball too. You guys can have that. I'm not gonna be picking at the NBA bones. And the reason also is you kind of need to go to weirder sports, right? Like there was consistent overlay in WNBA all season long. I love WNBA. Eat it up. So find yourself a sport where you're somewhat interested. You're seeing consistent overlay, and you know what to do with it, and then do that. Get the overlay. Eat the overlay. Overlay is what it's called when the expected value is greater than 1. So normal rake is 18%. Normally, you're going to be down 0.18 on a regular low-dollar tournament. If you have a bunch of money, your advantage is the rake is only like 9 or 10 or 11% on those big tournaments. Now, double check that. Only play the good ones. They run some crap tournaments. I shouldn't use any bad language. I'm not sure if that counts for this shit. Okay, but yeah, so this happened again, right? I'm playing the pitch and putts now because I still have money left over from the UFC, even though I lost a huge chunk of it. But yeah, I'm gonna play every single positive expected value thing every day because that's the engine of my economy. That's the satellite strategy. Every single GPP. I hope it works. I mean, and, you know, I do. There is a compulsive element to it. Like you'll see whenever I win in basketball, I have a couple of satellites too. Those are often not positive EV satellites. So some of those are like compulsive things. That's not the satellite strategy. That's just I do that whenever I play 20 lineups because I'm building them to be top 1%. And I find satellites can also be good for when you have a good cumulative percent that is not paying off in the top 0.1%. So that happened to me a lot during baseball season, and it was a way for me to get right in baseball. Okay, so on to today's slate. Do I need to talk about yesterday's basketball showdown or main slate? It was bad. It was mostly bad because Grayson Allen didn't make any shots. It was also bad because the chops were terrible. Like neither one of these slates had a high number of average dupes, and both of them were won by one of the highest dupes lineups. That's why, I mean, like, no offense to the winners, but you know, I was out on a date is the real reason I didn't congratulate the winners, but like 60 dupes, we're getting close to I don't congratulate the winners territory. It's not, I'm not trying to be catty. It's just like, I don't know what, okay, did we not say what lineups we wanted here? I need to like click around a little bit. Sometimes it just won't refresh. Like it'll be like processing and then it'll forget to actually show you what it processed. So I've set some things here, but it won't show me the white version of the like visible version of them until it finishes its processing, which is why I had it running in the background. I was not super pumped to see it not here. Do I have any other comments on last night's slate? Congratulations. I mean, we've got some guys who are up there consistently and up there consistently on the under 5. So I think that's the best way to tell, yeah, whether you're doing something that's maybe just a little too out there or not, is if you're also there on the, I mean, no, obviously if you're on the uniques list, you'll be on the under 5s list. But I think Ramsey Dellinger, whatever he did was incredible, getting up in the 10th place on the uniques list with all uniques. That was cool. I mean, that's an MB Habes type move. He's normally the guy we see on this list with less than 150. So to get there with 30, we know it. Oh, Broccoli. I'm sorry. Broccoli 166. That was very nice too. I totally missed that. Even wow. Yeah. And yeah, I'm not surprised about Dean Edzelsky having taken it down recently. That's a shark I'm aware of. So just fun to get acquainted with all of you sharks in the various new sports. Yeah, this has happened now a bunch of times. I have rerun this slate 3 times this morning. And 3 times I have not gotten to that much Obi top. So you're aware of the situation on the slate at this point. Probably watch another guy. Hopefully you do, because I'm not going to go over all the different game situations and stuff. When I go over here is like the game theory, like who I like the best, why I like them, what the pivots are, any projections I think you should boost, change, rules, etc. So let's start with rules. Don't leave salary. That was a 1-game thing yesterday to not chop. And then, of course, the infinity chops won, so we didn't win. Sorry about that. But that's why we did it. We wanted to win a condo, not a truck. Trucks won. That's fine. Today, it doesn't matter anymore. That's not a real classic. I mean, with 12 games, I'll tell you what else doesn't matter. Stacking. Don't think about stacking. Think about getting the best lineups. I mean, honestly, like $200 on the table long term, I'm not sure. I have to see some more data. It might be fully like with this many games, you might need to have only 50,000s in here eventually, like 5,000, 50,000 lineups. But for me, I'm going to allow $200 of wiggle room today. I don't, 300 is fine. Like if you're being a big risk taker running 150, maybe you go 600, maybe 500. I don't know. I wouldn't leave much more on the table, despite there are obvious values. So the obvious values today are Obi Toppin, mostly Obi Toppin. Everybody gets it though. You're 47% Obi Toppin. You're not getting different playing Obi Toppin, but you are playing the optimal value. So he's the lowest price. So as min price starter for Indianapolis, who also scores a lot of points per minute. They got him in for 28 minutes. I don't know if 25 is fine even. I think I might have him at 28. He's a point per minute guy for me. He's all over the boards. He can block. He can. I mean, he's not gonna be the best like offensive producer, but yeah, he's by far the best value of the slate. I've been uncomfortable all 3 times that it's told me no, you don't need that. I mean, we're not going to get to that much Obi Toppin. I need to be at that much Obi Toppin. I need to be there today. That is not unnegotiable. I'm making up new words about it. Went to see the state last night. It was wonderful. All right. Yeah, they're in a reunion in LA in case you are looking for tickets. Maybe it's on the tour. It might be a tour. I don't know if they're actually going into it. But it was wonderful. You can't see that stuff on the internet. So it's been like 20 years since I've seen a lot of those jokes. Some of which almost are you can barely remember that from so long ago. Okay, you can see the 3 guys in green now. These are the 3 guys I feel pretty strongly about being mispriced. I might get to a couple of others, but mostly the others are rules. So Sohan is being projected from his last year numbers, and his last year numbers don't have as high of an assist as I'm expecting from Point Sohan in this offense with Wembanyama down where he used to be. A lot more points coming, a lot easier for Sohan to get an assist where he just passes it to Wembanyama, lobs it to Wembanyama. So that is the reason I have goosed him to being a point per minute guy as well. He's 32 minutes-ish. I agree with that expectation. And then Mobley with Jared Allen out. Oh, yeah. So just in terms of like stuff you guys should know about, you should always have Court IQ. This is an amazing, amazing service from Roto Grinders powered by Fantasy Labs. So a couple different people deserve the credit. But so this is more important later in the year. But as an example, I think it works pretty well in this specific situation. Hold on. Because we had the same situation, the same 2 stars last year, right? For this team, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. So we can go and see last season, and we don't want Hawks. They are what? Cleveland? Yeah, they're Cleveland. So we go to Cleveland and we see what's going on. And then we say, hey, okay, that's their regular team. What happens when Jared Allen is off the court? Off court, Jared Allen. Boop. And this is Court IQ, rotogrinders.com/Court IQ, or just search for Court IQ and you'll find it. It's one of the best. I mean, for me, it's the thing I go to more than anything else. Other people like other things, whatever. So top usage differential, you're going to get more Dean Wade than you expect. And it's a different offense. We have to make sure that this is the same coach. Maybe he wants to do the same gadget BS. If so, that's what he's going to do. He's going to use Dean Wade more, but top DK differential, Evan Mobley +3. What have I already done? Evan Mobley plus 3.67. So my gut is essentially that, yeah, with Jared Allen, it's almost exactly right. Honestly, now that I've done the math on the air, let's make it 46.23 because that's exactly the usage change from last year we would expect. So now, granted, people have asked me, do I think the baseline is already taking this into account? Maybe. Obviously, he's already one of the best values on the slate. I just don't know. So actually, yeah, we can check it out in the Court IQ Shift Control tab. We can see what is his actual points per minute, right? So Evan Mobley, we'd expect 41 points in 1287 divided by 77. So 1287 divided by 77. 16.7. So what? 16.7 minutes per game? Can't be right. Okay, well, anyway, 41.33 points. So, I'm trying to impute the number of minutes. I think that's what's missing. I think that's like in 32 minutes, and this is with 36 minutes. Yeah, exactly. So I want to do 36 30 halves of 41.33. 36, 30 halves of 41.33. Obviously, the kind of thing you're doing all the time, 46.5. That's pretty close to what I've already said, right? 46.2. Ha! So, two different ways. I think this is about right. Yeah, 46.2, 46.5 for Evan Mobley. He's by far the best, to me, value of the slate. Like, it's not Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin's fine, but raw points wise, yeah, I think Obi Top. I'm not sure you still have to use Obi Toppin in optimal, just because I've run it so many freaking times now, and I'm not getting that much Obi Toppin in optimal. I mean, I'm getting about 40%, and you guys are on him 47%, so that's fine. Don't be that 100% guy today, though, on him. He's not actually that. Like, okay, let me. He is a good value, and it's true you shouldn't fade somebody for their ownership percent. If you're playing single entry, you start with him, and you start with Evan Mobley and Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Sohan, and then you do something else. But assuming you're not, I mean, you're also not getting different, right? These are four. I mean, is that literally sorting by ownership too? Pretty close. You get Bane, you get THT. Oh, I like THT. How many minutes is that? 31 minutes? Starter THT is going to get 31 minutes? What's the projections on this Utah team? I'm going to have to zoom in on that a bit. So, I mean, I'm expecting more minutes for starter THT than 31. I mean, weren't we getting bench THT minutes of like 28 at times? I mean, did we get more than that in preseason? Okay, so we got to check this out. We definitely did in preseason. I remember, I mean, okay, Utah Jazz, obviously preseason is not predictive, but in terms of if a guy is stretched out or not, then it is. So like, can THT go X minutes is what I'm trying to deduce with this dumb thing I'm about to do, just to understand. He went 31 minutes in preseason. So if I see him projected for 31 minutes today, yeah, okay. That's where it came from. It came from literally that one preseason game, I guess. Whatever. I think he's going to get a bit more minutes than that. I think THT, when he's out there, is obviously a usage monster. So I'm a little bit more on THT. What do we think about NAW minutes wise? He's obviously a good value as well. 30 minutes, 20 points? Is that a court IQ? We have Nickeil Alexander-Walker stats with last season, right? Yeah, so this is another case where I think we can just check it. So Minnesota, is his usage 0.6 with this starting lineup unit? Maybe, I don't know. Oh, wait, did he got traded? Is that right? Let's double check. No, he's on Minnesota. He got traded to Minnesota from somewhere else. Okay, but so with on court, the big guys. So actually, wait, Anthony Edwards is still hurt, right? Yeah, that's why we're thinking about this guy at all. I'm pretty sure. Sorry, guys, I don't remember my Anthony Edwards is not still hurt. Okay, so that was just a preseason snafu. So with the big guys on the court, is he a 0.5 point per minute guy or not? So Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 21.55. 21.881. Okay. All right. Saber Sims on it. Okay, so I don't have to do anything to that Nickeil Alexander-Walker number. That is about, in 30 minutes, we are expecting him to only get 20 points. His usage will be low with that offense, even though his minutes will be high. That's fine. Yep. Okay, so now I've told you my weird moves. Oh, I have rules. There's rules running in the background, so before you take all this at face value, you should know. I have two background rules. Do we have Sengun foul trouble or Collins foul trouble? Now, I don't remember offhand who are the sub let me look it up. Who are in these groups? Jock Landale is the guy who benefits from Sengun foul trouble, and Charles Bassey benefits from Collins foul trouble. So I think that their upsides are forked, obviously. One of them only gets there in the case of foul trouble. So those are great plays for me. I always like to play plays like that. Okay. Am I going to play any of them? I don't think so, actually, now that I'm looking at my list of plays. I put them in my pool. You can too. You can build out a lot of rules that will not matter. It's probably better than building in rules that do matter and completely kill you like last night. Okay, so do I have more to say? This is actually a pretty open and shut slate since there's so much value. I don't want 70% THT now that I've done whenever you break the slate, you got to unbreak it. So where do I want my THT levels? I don't know, 30%? Is that about the level? I mean, he's underpriced though, for sure. 30% might be a bit low. Is he fine to be a core piece? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. He's extremely, extremely underpriced. I'm definitely fine. Do I want him to quite be Mobley level? No. So I'll take him at 50. Down at Evan Ingram level, Desmond Bane can go a little higher. Yeah, okay. That's all fine. Okay, all right. Do I have any more? Let me, I guess, take it by leverage now and just see if I've got any leverage sticking out in the positive or negative direction. This all makes sense. Tillman and Triple J, all of those Memphis guys are underpriced. Everybody's going to tell you that. It's not a big. I guess I'm full fading Tyus Jones based on right now, but like based on what, right? I mean, based on availability of other things. That's what it is. So that's why I think, okay, just finished getting me a little bit off that. But yeah, so Levert is the other play. So we got to listen to news, right? There's one late piece of news for the slate. Currently, this is projecting Garland in. If Garland is out, then you have a whole different can of wax here, and you have to change a couple things. So let me just confirm this is projecting Garland in. Come on. Yes, this is projecting Garland in. So if Garland's out, what does that do for us? Well, that is a Karis LeVert bump and even more of a Mobley bump, maybe, right? I mean, like we can go back to our court IQ, go back. Oh, okay. Well, I thought I could go back to like Cleveland and then say what happens if both guys are off, Jarrett Allen and Garland from last year. Because, I mean, granted, down to there are some different pieces in the other part of the lineup. It's going to be better and more predictive later in the season. But still, I want to point out how to use Court IQ for you at home because it's important right before lock, 30 minutes before lock, somebody's ruled out. You can ask me and maybe I respond in 30 minutes or whatever. But for yourself, you can start getting to where you have your own thoughts about it, right? And this is how you have your own thoughts. I mean, yes, this is how you have your own thoughts. Huh. Well, what a surprise. Actually, Evan Mobley doesn't perform as well when they're both out. It's an Isaiah Mobley thing last year. That's really weird and gross, and I don't know what to do about it. So, yep. No. Well, sometimes when you dig into the numbers and they don't support your thesis, you don't do the thing you were going to do. So do not further goose Evan Mobley. Learn from my example. It's better for Evan Mobley if just Jarrett Allen is out. If they're both out, it's actually like he loses the advantage he had with, right? Like, yeah, if I take Garland away, wow, that's a tremendous difference. There's higher usage for Mobley, but he's getting less something else. I don't know how that's working out, but somehow, yeah. The math I don't understand on it. But anyway, that's how you can check out whether or not your math makes sense. And mine, I don't know. Still thinking about that. I don't want to be full fading Tyus Jones. He's a great value on the slate. And it's a case where, okay, with Tyus Jones and Toppin, here's what I'm going to do. They're obviously the best, like solid value. So I want a certain amount of them. So I'm going to set, I want 25 to 50% Tyus Jones. And Obi Toppin, I want to make sure I'm matching the field on Obi Toppin, who is definitely, we all agree, I agree, one of the best values. So 45 to, do I see any world where he's not the absolute top? No, he's absolutely the top value. He's topping the list of values on the slate. But I still think 65% optimal. I don't want any guy more than 65%. I'm only going to run 20 for the foreseeable future. Don't like 150ing basketball. It just feels, it's too much late swapping. I like to hand late swap my important lineups. And so with 20, maybe I have 5-10 contenders every night and I can really like hand swap and stuff. But with 150, I mean, also, obviously you should use SaberSim's late swap feature. Me saying, oh, I can hand swap is basically like a stock mutual fund guy telling you he can beat the market. I know I probably shouldn't and can't do that quite like that. So long term, I shouldn't. Yep, this is great. I'm going to do something pretty similar to this. Yeah, love what I'm seeing here. Yep, through and through. This looks great. Sticking with this. Love what I'm seeing. Evan Mobley. Yeah, I should say some of this for the people. Thank you, podcast people. I have been really neglecting you. But Evan Mobley, Mobley, Toppin, Jaren Jackson Jr., Sohan, Bane, Sengun, Ayton, THT, Brandon Ingram. I think those are your safest plays on the slate. I'm getting to all of those guys in at least half my lineups. Then after that, you got the upside guys. The guys, how are they going to get you there? I don't know. Tillman, Tyus Jones, you know how they get you there, triple doubles or double doubles of their various sort. Doncic, triple double night about a third of the time. Sounds fine. Tyrese Halliburton has his massive, I don't know, he's had all summer off or something, and he wants to score. He didn't. He played for Team USA, right? So never mind. He's warm and ready to go. Whatever they, you can always make a plot line out of it. But my negatively leveraged plays, let me make sure I'm comfortable with those. Nah, yeah, we just have other value. And I mean, he's not getting that much usage with that group. Totally fine with that. Levine, who knows? Dyson Daniels, that might be a case where I want to put some in. I think New Orleans, though, yeah, that rotation, right? Is that where I don't have really that rotation. I have large amounts of notes in the morning. Oh, no. Good minutes. Huh. Good minutes, but not great points per dollar was the traditional concern I have with this lineup, and I don't have that with Dyson Daniels. I think I might want to set at least a tournament amount of Dyson Daniels. I don't really like where the field's already at 15%. I think I am setting up to be a light fade on that, but he's great. I mean, he's a great play. I think I might lower the 5 to a 0 for my minimum if Karis LeVert, like if Garland's out. So you always have to think about differential advantage. So like if we get a lot of late value, then it becomes a whole lot more on the table to fade Obi Toppin, right? Chalk Obi Toppin could go for 0 points. I mean, like, you just saw Grayson Allen do it tonight. It's less likely with Toppin because he gets rebounds and blocks. He probably gets 10 even if he scores 0 points, which 0 real life points, very on the table for Toppin, right? He's got to dunk it. He's got to, I mean, I think he's been practicing threes. I don't want to besmirch guys because then they go and hit a zillion threes and I feel dumb. But anyway, yeah, these negatively leveraged guys are all fine with me. They're all fine plays. Mark Williams, fine play. Scotty Barnes, fine play. Darius Garland, if he plays, fine play. But they're just not like, they're just not that good. Like, there are better options, even if Covington starts, right? I mean, this is the Covington starts case. And I mean, yeah, he's fine. He's on the like top 25 of value or whatever. But we don't need the top 25 value. We need the top 5 value. I mean, on this slate, the top 5 values separate themselves significant. Oh, wait. 4 value, whatever. There's a ton of there's a couple really, really good values that you should really, really get to. All right, that's my summary of the game theory for this slate. Talked in circles for a little bit. Hope you enjoyed it. I love circles. I love all sorts of geometric figures. But remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. 100,000. Oh, right, $100,000 up 2 different ways. What's this other screen? Have I prepped an entire other show? I sure have. Did it not show up? Yes. That's annoying. Okay, where's the showdown slate? There's a showdown slate with also $1 million or 150K, whatever it was. I decided I was going to talk about, and then I just didn't pull it up at all. So I'll talk about it briefly here at the end, before I do my sign-off phrase. Yes, it's fine. I remember the rules. Yes. Show me. Oh, did you not? Okay. Well, it didn't remember any of the things we did earlier. That's fine. Ayton, yep, fine. Best. That makes sense. Those guys separate themselves for most points. Simons will be shooting. Yeah, he's in play. Westbrook, I thought was a value. He's a value on the main slate. Covington because he's starting, and Thybulle, I guess. Wow, look at that ownership. Yes. Thybulle was playing. We'll have to see who is playing ahead of who. But if he is playing ahead of Nas, then yeah, I agree with that. That's a fine play. Oh, Scoot. Yeah, Scoot's fine to be there in the captain as well at his price, probably. 7%. That's a bit much to pay for that. I gotta see it from Scoot before I keep him in the captain. Okay. Now I don't want any Marcus Morris Sr., even if he plays. No Kamara necessary, no Batum, even if he starts. Probably for me. Robert Williams off the bench, no thanks. Don't need Jabari Walker. Yeah, to make sure I get all the guys from just low points. Now, Thybulle, I think, is in play just because and Bones is questionable, I think, so keep an eye out on that. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so for this showdown slate, you saw my general plays here. Do I have any forks to make? Zubats, right? I mean, they could do anything there, and I hate what they do there. So if you want to put it in there, you could put your fork with Zubats, and I think last season it was like Batum running a small ball or Marcus Morris running a small ball. But gosh, those so gross. So gross. I really don't want to do that. If they start, maybe, but you can build that rule in. You can hear me talking myself into the rule. I'm not going to throw in a specific rule right now. I am going to try to win almost solo first again, so my pretty restrictive geometric mean, and that'll mean pretty significant salary restriction too. Let's just show you. I'll probably get 49, 5, and 40. It's not that restrictive. Let's leave it small because we've got these Covington and Thybulle lineups. I want to be able to have some variation. Okay. I don't remember what I said, 10, 2. I know I'm going to do at least 2. So let me figure out if it has a preference among the options for 2. Oh, I didn't tell it my strict dupe preference. Sorry. You got to put on max 2, whatever it was, max 2 dupes for 100K Premier is basically the same thing I want for tonight, for 50K, whatever it is. So rerun this, but yeah, it's a fun-ish showdown slate. I'll do a better job of prepping and remembering that I am intending to do the showdown slate. I honestly, like last season, I didn't pay that much attention to the late showdown, but the fact that it's like half the main slate in terms of top prize, so it deserves half the attention. So I'll give it half the attention, no problem. I don't think there's that much turning this slate though, right? Yeah. So these teams, yeah. Fun. Okay, sweet. No, don't need to show you the exact team. But I like these weird low captain teams tonight. I like your Thybulle captain and your Covington captain. And I mean, Thybulle, if he's really 0.34%, that's quite nice. Quite nice in the captain. But yeah, does he really get 20 points even in the captain? Who knows? He could go for 0. He could give you the Grayson Allen treatment, and that's why he's 0.3%. You're paying for that. He has the pop-off game with 5 stocks. You win the tournament. So that's that's the way I'll be playing it tonight. And if you see Matisse Thybulle having a Moses Moody-like game out there, then you'll know I'm very happy. That one, another thing, just man, tore me up last night. Every single time when like anybody where I had the minutes on them, it wasn't show like they wouldn't make a shot or get a single stock. And guys out there for like 5 minutes, chilling out, being cool. All right. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. And well, if it wasn't us yesterday, might as well be us tomorrow.